Good evening, everyone. I will be the last presenter for today, so hopefully you all don't fall asleep first. Okay, basically my presentation today, right, is to summarize what you need to know today. Okay, my name is Sean, and then I am the manager of client investment specialist at FSMOne Malaysia. So the topic today I would like to share is the perfect match, finding the right product for the right goal. So as usual, disclaimer, uh, for the slide or content that I share later on, it will have some ETF or fund names, but it's not constructed as a buy or sell advice. So for all the investment decision, you have to go through the product structure, and also you have to go through the product highlight sheet before you make your own investment decisions. Okay, let us start the topic today, the dating game of investing. I think this year will be my 13 years in FSMOne already as an investment specialist. And then I often listen a lot of customers asking the question of, in FSMOne actually there's a lot of different products. For example, like unit trust fund, PRS funds, then stock ETF, tax solutions, managed portfolio, and etc. So do I need to own all of them together in order for me to make my investment successful? My answer is no. Actually, you do not need to own all the investment tools all together to make your investment successful. The most important thing is you will need to find the right one for you, the right one that fits your goal. So before we start to identify what is the product that actually fits to your goal, we first have to know who are us today, right? We need to know our own investor personas. So let me summarize a little bit of the investor personas that I can found from our platform. First one will be young adult. So for young adult will be those category of clients that actually they just fresh grad, and then they have a little bit money, and then they want to start investing. And then the next one will be working professional. Working professional will be the group of people that actually they have a lot of different objectives. Maybe they would like to buying a new home, or the objective of buying a new home, retirement, and also looking for tax relief. And then the next one will be the retiree. Retiree will be the others different stage already, because at a point of retiree, they are looking for something that can preserve their capital, and also something that can give them passive income for their retirement living. And then the last one will be parents. Parents will be normally they will plan for the education for their children. Let me clarify a little bit. It doesn't mean that all of us individuals today, I only can fit under one investor personnel only. Okay, for example, me. I may be a working professional, and then at the same time, I'm also a parent. So how do I plan for my investment portfolio? So for my working professionals, for example, if my objective is for retirement purpose, so my retirement purpose is for maybe last for the next 20 years. And then the objective will be different from my education portfolio, because education portfolio, the investment horizon will be shorter, for example, in the next 5 or 10 years. So in this case, since I have two investor personnel, so I will need to have two different portfolio to carry out for my different strategy, for my different objectives. For example, for the children education, I will need to set something that in a shorter term, and then for my retirement, I can set something that putting some product that higher risk, and then set some strategy that able to generate the amount of retirement money that I plan for. So this is something that I would like to share with you. And then after that, you have successfully identified your investor personnel. This is where you can match your goal and together with your objective. So this is a goal-based matching metric. I believe you all, when you go around the booth that we have today, right, you already study or you already go through some of this. Let me further clarify. For cash match, Normally, it's for those people that when you want to plan for your emergency funds or want to plan for your cash solutions, this is where our platform, FSMOne, can help you. If you do have the foreign currency, then you are able to park under our USD or Singapore dollar cash auto sweep account, which are able to give you something higher return than the bank savings. And then at the same time, for all of us here, we are saving in ringgit. Then you can also have a look on the top left side here, the money market fund. Money market fund means the fund manager will invest in FD only. And then when you park in here, actually you do not lock by the FD. For example, some 1 year FD, you will have to lock your money for 1 year. But for money market fund, they do not lock you. We can buy and sell anytime. But still enjoy almost the same rate as FD. And then at the same time, we do have the MYR cash account. It's for the liquidity purpose. You can treat it as a saving account where you park your money in, and at the same time, you can withdraw anytime when you need the money. And then at the same time, for those investors that you have multi-currency on hand, we do support up to 8 currency in our platform. Later on, I will share with you how do you plan for your emergency cash, or how do you plan for your cash solutions things. And then secondly will be stability match. Because when it comes to investment, right, not all investors actually has high risk appetite. Some of the investors just want to go for something like some return that's better than FD, and they want something that's very stable and safe. So for those investors that actually you want to go for stability, these are the solutions that we can provide for you from our platform. If you look at in the red color one, the Malaysia government security, basically it's a bond issued by Malaysia government. So I can say that it's as safe as the FD. Why? Because the bond actually is guaranteed by Malaysia government. So I think the yield is around 3 to 4%. I believe you also heard the previous speaker share about the MGS. And then at the same time, you also look for the bond fund. Bond fund, those bond fund means when you invest in this unit trust fund, the fund manager will help you to manage the bonds. They will help you to buy into maybe 20 or 30 different kind of bonds in a portfolio, and then therefore they are able to deliberately. These are our recommended bond fund. These 4 bond funds, they are able to deliver 1 year return of around 4.7 to 5.2%. Over the past 1 year. And then after that, the third one will be the passive match. Some investors, because they are busy for their main income, they do not have time to monitor the investment. And then they prefer something that hands off, and then something that you can set on the system and forgot about it. Then you can go for the passive one. Passive one is like the previous 2 speakers. Speak about the regular saving plan. So regular saving plan is something that you can set through our platform, and then at the same time, once you set it up, that system will automatically run for you. You do not need to really monitor it. Every month, you will deduct money from your bank account or from the parking facility and buy into the ETF that you selected. And then these are the top RSP picked, not by us, it's by our customer. So you can have a look on this, the top table will be the US ETF, the VOO will be the ETF that actually fit under the S&P 500. And then the second one will be the semiconductor ETF, and then third one will be QQQ. QQQ is the ETF that fit under the NASDAQ index, the US technology index. And then the second part of the table, I believe you all not really familiar because this is the London Stock Exchange. So for London Stock Exchange, the top 3 ETFs that are liked by our investor, which means the most investor contribute in this ETF are those 3. So you will notice that the first one, right, Vanguard S&P 500 VUAA, basically they are managed by the same fund house, Vanguard, which are also listed in US market. So, but you will notice that why the return is different, since they are tracked on the same S&P 500, right? Why the return on US market is 27%, but in London Stock Exchange it's 29%. Because for London Stock Exchange ETF, they have this accumulating strategy, meaning to say all the dividend payout will be automatically reinvest back to the holdings. So that's why you will see a little bit different in terms of the return compared to the sister fund in US. The same also applies for the others, like the second one, CSPX also track under S&P 500, but managed by the others fund manager. And then the third one will be the All Index. So those are the top three regular saving plan, top three ETFs that actually contribute by our clients. So the last one will be the income match. So for income match, for those investors that if you prefer something that able to give you a steady payout, steady return, so those steady return can be, you can get from certain alternatives. So the first one will be dividend stock from Bursa Market. So dividend stock from Bursa Market, you can have a look on the top Malaysia banks over here, Maybank, CIMB, RHB. They're able to deliver a consistent of dividend payout of maybe 6 or more than 6% per annum. And then secondly, if you have foreign currency, for example in Singapore dollar, you also can have a look on the REITs in SGX in Singapore. And at the same time, you can also have a look on the ETF in Singapore. So those are the recommended ones that I put on the slide. And then the lastly will be bond. Bond, I believe most of the investors do not really understand or heard about bond. But bond is something that is like a loan from the company. So over here, I already put in the United States Treasury, like US Treasury, which is the bond issued by US market. But for in order for you to get the steady income, not only USD, you also can get like Malaysia, the NGS. You can invest in the bond that issued by Malaysian government. You can also invest in the corporate bond that issued by the company. It could be from a different currency, could be from ringgit, or up to a different currency, USD, AUD, or even Singapore dollars. So after we sharing on the goal, I would like to share with you if in the real life cases, like what happens if you pick the wrong match, when you pick a wrong product for your own strategy. So there is a scenario, an investor actually with a good intention when you want to build out a 5-year education fund, but this investor actually they allocate 100% saving under the high risk ETF. So they thought high risk equal to high return. What will happen when you pick the right ETF, then this will happen. You get your objective fulfilled. But what if you pick the wrong ETF? When you pick the wrong ETF, then maybe you are not able to get back even the capital. So what went wrong when you get your objective mismatch? The first thing will be the time horizon. For the just now the case study that I referred to. Because the fund actually, you need 5 years, but the investor actually putting in a very high risk kind of ETF. When you put in something that higher risk and higher volatility, basically you will need more time to accumulate the returns. And then at the same time, the uncertainty will be in the market correction. Because if the investment tenure is very short, there will be a risk that before you need the money, if you need the money in 5 years' time, what happens if 4th year happen market correction? Then you will lose the capital. And then you will also into the profit that you gain over the past 4 years. And then at the same time, for that particular client, they do not have any buffer or diversification when they plan for the portfolio. They only invest in one ETF, one fund, one ETF, and then they do not have any other investment tools to cushion. So how do we do? So the key learning point will be we will always need to match the product risk level with your time horizon. If your time horizon is short, then you have to go for something investment tools that less risk. If your time horizon is long, then you can go for higher risk. And then you also need to diversify to reduce the risk. Diversify means you, instead of putting one ETF, you can diversify and putting a few ETF or funds, so that you are able to help you to reduce the risk. I will talk more about the diversification later on. And then you also can invest regularly to reduce the risk. Why invest regularly will help you to reduce the risk? Because when you invest regularly, you are buying in no matter market up or down. Then naturally, it will help you to reduce the volatility risk. And then can also consider for that particular objective for the 5-year plan, you can also consider more stable option. Instead of a high-risk fund, like invest in one sector on technology or maybe healthcare only, we can go for something more generous, unit trust fund, or we can go for something like more low-risk, balance fund, maybe short-term bond fund, etc. So if the goal is short to medium term, less than 5 years, so avoid going all into a high-risk fund. So always you are able to consult our team, which is the client investment specialist team, when you want to construct or build out something that need to fit for your goals or objective. You can always contact us, and then we are able to help you to generate, or we can help you to construct the portfolio that's suitable for your risk. And then the second thing that I want to share is, I often listen that a lot of customers actually they confuse about diversification. Diversification actually is good for the portfolio, but if you are overly diversified, actually it's not good for your investing. I think a lot of investors do not really understand this. Maybe let me show you. Okay. Don't be surprised. This is not the fund list that offered from our platform. This is holding from a client. He is holding 80 funds, 80 unit trust funds. Can you guess until now what is the return of the fund, the portfolio? The portfolio actually is still in negative. Why? A lot of people were surprised. Experts say diversification actually is good for a portfolio, right? Diversification is good, but overly diversified is not good for your portfolio. Why? Let me show you. Okay, if I want to invest, this is an example of China fund. If I want to invest in China, instead of I pick the best fund, now I invest on all the China fund that are available in our platform. I invest in 7 China funds. So this is what will happen. If market going up in 2024, not all the funds deliver the same return, right? Some funds can get 20% return. Some funds can get 3%, 6%, 9%. You get a different kind of return. So it means if you invest in 7 China funds, will you benefit when market go up? No, because the lagging fund will pull down your return, right? At the same time, if you look at the 2022 and 2023, when market drop, will you benefit from market drop on the diversification purpose? No. All your China fund will drop as well, right? Just in a different magnitude. So you see, when you invest in too many funds, overly diversification, you do not earn any benefit, because when market drop, all the funds will drop, because they are in the same industry, they are in the same country, they are in the same sector. And then when market go up, you didn't earn as much as those people that own 2 funds, because the lagging one pull down your return. So that's why we do not encourage you overly diversify. So the common symptom of overly diversification will be you have a multiple fund from the same region and also the same country. So meaning to say, if you currently your portfolio is holding like 5 Malaysia fund, 6 China fund, 7 technology fund, then you have to find us already. We have to help you to perform reconstruction because you are overly diversified. Then it's not good for your portfolio. That's why a lot of people complain, why my portfolio cannot make money? this is one of the reasons why you cannot make money. And then the portfolio also difficult to monitor because you have too many funds already. You have 80 funds imagine. How do you decide which one to sell, which one to rebalance? I don't know how to help the client because you are having too many funds. The portfolio is too fat already. So that's why you can also come to us. We will teach you how to to cut down the fund. Okay? And then the last one will be, I think a lot of customers have this mindset, wrong mindset of this. When they have fresh fund, instead of top up into their existing portfolio, they often go for a new fund. This is why at the end of the day, the customer is collecting 80 funds in the portfolio. Because whenever he want to buy, he keep popping out to the new fund, buying the new fund. And what is a good fund to buy? What is a new fund to buy? That's why they continue to accumulate that much fund. But by right, a better strategy will be start diversify smartly will be, you just need to have a very simple portfolio. 5 to 7 well-diversified portfolio is enough for you already. What do we mean by well-selected or well-diversified? You just need to diversify across the asset classes, different country, different region. You pick the best fund. How do we pick the best fund? We have the recommended fund or we have the recommended ETF. We just pick from there. You pick a few best ones in US, in Malaysia, in Asia, in different regions, so that when US drop, you see a Malaysia fund, you see an Asia fund to help you to contribute the return. This is what we call diversification. It's not mean that you buy a lot of funds means diversified. Okay, let me show you the perfect match after we show the mismatch. So this is normally what is the scenario of client use to deliver or to achieve their objective. The first one will be the regular saving plan. I believe you all listen to speakers, all the presentation on speaker today. You already mostly understand what I'm going to go through later on. But what I want to tell you now actually is the basic tips for you. When you use this particular strategy, what you actually need to take note. Okay, for example, the regular saving plan. Every one of us know regular saving plan is good for us. It can be dollar cost averaging. We can achieve our 1 million in 20 years. But what is the thing that we need to take note? Number one, I believe a lot of investors, they have this mindset. When market drop, they will tend to terminate the RSP, right? I wait until the market drop to bottom, then only I activate the RSP. Am I right? So do not do that. The purpose of regular saving plan actually is to help you automate your investment. Automated means take away your emotion. Then you do not need to look at what happened in the market. The system will help you buy in regularly. So the first off, do not terminate your regular saving plan when market drop. In fact, what you need to do is, when market drop, you should increase the regular saving plan amount. When you invest 500, when market drop, you should increase 750 or 1,000. Because when market drop, it's the only opportunity for you to buy cheaper. You will buy more units. Then after that, you are able to enjoy when the market recover. And then secondly, another thing that you all need to think note is when you go for regular saving plan, you will need to, you do not create the regular saving plan and forgot about it. What you need to do is, you shall increase the regular saving plan amount when your salary increase, right? Because if you just put in like 100 per month, you need to take a very long period for you to achieve your objective. But if you can perform the dynamic strategy, because your income will grow over the year, right? So when your income grow over a year, by right, your investment amount also need to be increased over the year. So that instead of you need to take 20 years to achieve your objective, by increasing the amount regularly, it could help you to shorten the tenure that you need to achieve the objective. And then lastly, for when you perform regular similar strategy, right, same as the overly diversification scenario, I do not encourage you to set a lot of ETF in your portfolio, a lot of contract. No, you do not need to do so. Actually the way to go successfully will be you just need I think at most 3 to 4 ETF. 3 to 4 ETF will do, and sometimes 3 to 4 maybe is too much. You just need to set 2 or 3. Why? Just imagine you have 2,000 per month to invest. But these 2,000, I set 20 ETF regular saving plan contract. So each ETF, I put in 100. Compared to, I only set 2 ETF, and I set 1,000 each. So you think which one will make more money? Of course, the lesser one will make more money. The same example, you put in 20 ETF. The one that perform lagging one will drag down your performance. So you do not need a lot of ETF contract to help you to deliver the objective that you want. Because the regular seminar itself, the strategy itself, is already help you to reduce the risk because you already increase, you already invest regularly. So this is the 3 tips I can share with you when it comes to this particular strategy. And then next one, a lot of investors actually ask me, when for private retirement scheme, you know what is PIS, right? PIS that you are able to get some tax relief when you invest in PIS, but your money will lock until 55 years old. A lot of investors ask me, do I need to invest in this PIS fund? Because most of the PIS, the performance actually is considered lousy because the performance actually is like maybe 10 years return. The best performing one, I think less than 5%, around 4 or 3. Some funds actually even in negative. So let me share with you. Actually, when we invest in PIS fund, right, the core value of PIS fund actually is the tax relief, the tax saving. The tax saving basically is follow the tax bracket that you are contribute for. For example, if my income is 120,000 per year, actually I am contribute around 25% for the income tax. So outright, if I invest 3,000 in PIS fund, outright I will enjoy a 750 tax relief or tax saving. The government will pay back me 750. So this is the outright benefit that you will enjoy when you invest in PIS fund. And then at the same time, if you are able to pick the PIS fund carefully, you pick the right fund, then besides the tax relief, you will also have some, the PIS still able to help you to generate the steady return until your retirement. And then for the cash solution and emergency fund, just now I promised you to teach you how do you plan the strategy for the emergency fund. Because I think a lot of customers, they have a lot of money just sitting in FD or maybe just sitting in some saving account even. So how can you plan your yield cash more effectively? Okay, I will use this 4-3-3 strategy. 4-3 strategy, okay, if you look at the right-hand side, your right-hand side, this is one of the short-term bond fund in our platform. So if you look at the chart, right, the short-term bond fund, actually the chart is very smooth. Just go up like this, and then this is the 3-year return around 15%, means a year around more or less 5%. And then this is very suitable for you to plan for your emergency fund strategy. For 40% of your fund, you can put it under this short-term bond fund so that it could able to help you to increase the yield of your cash. And then at the same time, the other 30% you can put under the CMF2, which is the money market fund available in our platform, which can deliver around 3 point something %. similar like FD. The 40% one, you are able to generate more than FD. And then the last 30%, you can park under the MYR cash account. So when you park the other 30% in MYR cash account, it's not to get the 2%. It's for the liquidity purpose. When you need the money, you can withdraw it anytime. So this is for the emergency cash purpose. So for this 4-3-3 strategy, it could help you to increase your emergency cash planning or your cash solution planning. Instead of you put everything in FD only, then everything will generate you around maybe 3% or 3.5%. But your money get locked. You cannot access to your money immediately. But by planning this kind of strategy, you are able to get more flexible kind of access to your money. At the same time, you will get higher yield compared to you park everything in FD. And then for bond generally is for the steady income periodically. Let me show you how can you achieve this. This is one of the example of the bond portfolio that a customer has. The customer invests 400,000 in 10 bonds. So this will be how the portfolio look like. But a lot of investors do not have visualize on how the passive income works. Let me show you. By this 40,000 bond portfolio, this is the passive income that the customer received in 2024. In 2024 itself, the customer received 21,000 plus based on the 400,000 bond portfolio. So it could he's getting around 5.something% kind of fixed return. Because when you invest in bond, they tell you 1st of January they will pay you coupon rate. By 1st of January you will receive the money already. It's fixed one. It's predictable. So this is how a bond portfolio can help you to get a regular income. And then that's why I say it's very suitable for retiree because you are able to predict when you will get the money and how can you plan for your spending for retirement. And then lastly, let me share with you how can you plan for a smart diversified portfolio. This is one of the examples that I captured from my client. So if you look at this, right, this is a diversified portfolio that I structured for my client, one of my clients in Penang, I think more than 5 years ago. So under this portfolio, you will notice that the fund, right, is not the usual recommended fund that you read from your brochure today. Those funds are the old-time recommended fund. The client just follow, and what is the strategy that the client uses? He construct a portfolio based on this 6 funds, and then he invests regularly, regular saving plan. He invests, I think, 3 or 4 or 5,000, I forgot already, every month. So he just set this 6 funds and invests regularly. At first, when he go through the first collection in 2018, I think, in 2018, I think a lot of funds going negative. He's very worried. He asked me, what should I do? Should I stop? Because all the fund is in negative. I tell him, no worry, you just continue. You just let the regular savings plan continue. This is what I share with you. Don't stop your regular savings plan. You just let your regular savings plan continue. And after that, during the recently correction, during COVID-19 correction, most of our portfolio is in red. Even included mine is in red. But this client portfolio never in red across the COVID-19 portfolio because of the power of compounding and the regular saving plan. He is averaged the price over the so many years. So this is how stable the portfolio can able to deliver for him. He never see a break after that. So this is how diversification, smartly diversification portfolio look like. You do not need to have a lot of fund. You just need to have each good fund under the each category. That's why you see, you have Asia and Japan, you have Malaysia, you have global, you have emerging market. That's all. It's very good for diversification already. And then another thing is, you do not need to keep changing the fund. Once you set up the portfolio, right, actually, this is a very old-time recommended fund. Although now they are not in the list, but maybe they are ranked on number 3 or number 4. They are not the top 1 anymore, but they are still the top 3 or top 4. So it's still okay to continue. It's still okay to deliver the profit that you want for you. So this is, that's all I would like to share. So lastly, I would like to share this quote. Investing should be more like watching a paint dry or watching a glass grow. What does this mean? By right investing, it will be like a very boring process. How boring is it? You need to set up a strategy, go disciplinedly, and then wait for the result. If you want something exciting, better go for Genting, right? Okay. So this is what I would like to share. By right investing is you need to set your strategy, and then you need to discipline and go about it, and wait for the result. That's all for my presentation. Thank you.